Good morning, Iowa Scotsman. How are you doing this morning? Interesting. Yeah, I gotta. My desktop didn't update. I gotta. Looks like I'm actually streaming, but I can't see it, so. A second here. Oh, that looks better. I have my desktop in VR here, and sometimes when I tell it go live, it doesn't. The desktop window doesn't update, so I just had reload it, and then we were good. Sorry to hear that. Sorry to hear that. I'm doing fine. We drove back from, we went to Flight Sim Expo and drove back from Providence on Monday. And so long drive, it should have been about 8 hours. Turned out to be probably 9.5. Got pretty close to here, and the 90 at this certain exit was one lane traffic. So when it choked down, it kind of backed up traffic. So we got off. My GPS told me to get off and exit early, and I chose to ignore it, and should have listened. So, oh, okay, okay. So we basically kind of rode the traffic out until the next exit got off, and then we took one of the secondary roads, and it's opposed to the interstate. So it made us about an hour and a half later than we should have been, but that's life. Okie dokie. Trying to figure out what we're doing here. Okay, so I'm in the Cessna 172, the steam gauge version, and kind of what I wanted to do before I go flying this morning is kind of talk about VR headsets and resolutions and that kind of funness. So before I got this headset, my Big Screen Beyond, I used to have a Vive Pro 2, and I could only fly these steam gauges because the letters on the text on the G1000 is smaller than the text in here, and so that's all I would so I'd only use steam gauges, and but I really wanted to fly a G1000, and so when I got my Big Screen Beyond, I fired up the G1000 172 and went, oh yeah, this is quite readable. So that's kind of why I wanted to start up here, and I think I'm going to
all aircraft information Lima is now current. Altimeter 3016.
Ooh, that is really finicky. I don't normally fly this plane, so I see my my altimeter knob is very, very finicky. So let's turn the beacon on. Let's get some power on. A little bit of fuel, and we'll turn the fuel pump on. Put the mixture in. Where are we looking? Man, that don't show up very much at all. Really? Well, I'd find that hard to believe, but that's okay. My, the fuel flow was showing like hardly anything. It's really easy to see in the G1000. It was showing hardly anything. So it says that it's flooded. So we'll run it at cutoff. We'll go ahead and start this thing. There we go. It also says I have low fuel, which is okay because I'm going to refuel it when I get in the G1000. So the thing started up. Let me, yeah, it's probably, yeah, it's complaining that I got too much RPM. So we'll turn on, I'll turn the taxi on and I'll turn the avionics on. Yeah, I got it. I'm working at it. Okay. Alrighty, so let me just quickly put in a course. So I'm just gonna put Lost Nation in. So KL. Yeah, I have mine. I have mine fairly well dialed in for what I'm running right now, with my big stream beyond. So so ETA isn't gonna show. So kind of what I wanted to just talk about quick here is before I'm just gonna shut this down, get back in the G1000. That's what I want to fly. So I'm in the steam gauge, and so the first thing that you know, having enough resolution is in if you're in a headset that's like 2500 by 2500 or less, want to absolutely make sure that these numbers here on the directional gyro, you know, are they like readable? In other words, can you just glance at them and read them? In the same way as the altimeter, the airspeed, you know, the tack, you know, can you just glance at them? And the other thing is, like over here on the right hand side here, can I look over and just quickly look? So that says 58.8 distance. And same way as ETA is going to be down in here, but because I haven't started moving, it's not going to give me an ETA. The same way, can you clearly see that that's 121.900? Can you clearly see that? And if you can, then that's enough resolution. Now, what I found is that I wanted to fly G1000, so that's why I bought a big screen. Well, I bought a big screen beyond because it had OLED and it was really small. And but what I was surprised is that it had about the same resolution as my Vive Pro 2, and but it looked much sharper in the cockpit. So much so that it allowed me, even with the same resolution, to basically fly a G1000. And I was surprised at that. So the beginning of this year, towards the last day of last year, because I'm always, from my very first headset, I'm always looking to, you know, can I get a higher resolution headset? And I heard about this Shipdall Mega Next Super Light 8K. And so it's a big screen beyond is 2.5K per eye, and the Mega Next is 4K per eye. I didn't probably think this through too well, because it turns out that the difference in megapixels is around about 12 million for a big screen beyond and about 25 for a shipped on Meganex 8K, super light 8K. So it's almost twice as many pixels, and that turned out to be too much for my 4090. So I've been struggling with it, trying to get it as sharp as what this is, and I can't say I've succeeded. So it's just life. So so the day after I got it, I basically pre-ordered a Big Screen Beyond 2E. So it is the second version of Big Screen Beyond, exactly the same displays, much better lenses, and the version I bought has eye tracking. So that's what I will be running. So, but I just wanted to just quickly get in this cockpit, and I see I got low fuel, so I'll have to get into the maintenance log and put some fuel in here. But I can't do it while I'm running. So, so that's basically what I just wanted to get in here really quick, and like everything in here, you know, so I can like look over and see this is like, you know, COM 1, COM 2, DME, NAV 1, NAV 2, ADF 1, ADF 2. I mean, that's all like readable. So that's absolutely enough resolution. So for me in this headset, that's good enough. And whether it would be readable in a VR headset that's got less resolution than mine, don't know, because I haven't owned, like, say, the Quest series. I mean, I've only, other than the HP Reverb G2, I've only owned Steam VR headsets. So okay, so I'm gonna turn off the avionics, control the engine, extra light off, that off, that off, got it all killed. Alrighty, now let me go load a G1000 version. So yeah, it should be this one. You look and make sure I got the right one. Yeah, that's the right one. Okay. And yeah, we'll start new flight. So at Flight Sim Expo, I got to do something that I did. We in the G1000. Yep. Let me get myself lined up here. Yeah, it looks pretty good. I get to these. Yeah. Where's my desk? About there. Okay. Very good. So my yoke is FlightSim.com CLS 60. So so it's a force feedback yoke, and I enjoy it to death. It is so much fun to fly. And so last year at Flight Sim Expo, I had ordered this yoke, but it hadn't come yet when I went to Flight Sim Expo. So the very first time I tried the yoke was at Flight Sim Expo 2024. And it was supposed to come in September, but it actually come in July, come early. And so I've been using it since July. So, excuse me, earlier this year, they announced rudder force feedback rudder pedals. Now, this yoke was around $800 or $900, so not cheap, but the rudder pedals were more. So the rudder pedals were $1,800 or $1,900. Don't remember right now, but they were more by a lot. And but I kind of looked at them. I looked at the people that have tried them before and went, yeah, that looks pretty nice. So I pre-ordered them. And so once again, for the first time I've tried them, was at Flight Sim Expo 2025 in Providence. And so I tried them, and it was like, wow, those are, yeah, I think they're worth the money. They won't be worth the money for everybody. Absolutely not. But the way I run my cockpit is I have a physical yoke and I have physical rudder pedals. And since I'm in VR, I use VR controllers and I use voice commands for all other interactions in the cockpit. So I don't have any other hardware that I need to buy. And so I can afford to kind of spend a little more money on the on, like, say, rudder pedals. And the difference, I have some nice rudder pedals. Mine are MFG crosswind rudder pedals. I probably paid about $350 for them, I think, many years ago. Now they're pretty old. They're at least 6 years old. But they're great. I really enjoy them. But man, when I tried those force feedback rudder pedals at FlightSim.com, I was like, wow, that makes a heck of a difference. So like taking off and landing, I mean, they were like really, really, really nice feeling. So those are on their way. They left the ship. Would be at the beginning of the week of Flight Sim Expo. So they left Hong Kong. So they're on a ship coming here. So probably get them around the 15th of July or something like that. So that's the other thing I got to do at Flight Sim Expo was that. So alrighty, so let me get this thing fueled up so I can actually go fly in here. So weight and balance. Oh yeah, you're really low on fuel. Glad I didn't try to fly. We'll do 17. That should be good. Okay. Fly. That should be okay. Yeah, it's closer to you, isn't it? Closer by quite a bit. I think we're going to drive again. I think we're going to have to split the trip up because I think it's 12 hours. Yeah, it's about 12 hours. So I think we're going to split it up. We'll do half and half. We'll pick a hotel in between, and so instead of leaving on Thursday, we'll leave on Wednesday, and so we'll arrive there on Thursday. So I don't think that should be too big a deal. So yeah, Providence was about 8 hours for us from here. So okay, so we got that. Let me actually check with Rep. Make sure I didn't break anything. I don't think I did the last time I flew. So, but it's been a while, so you never know. That all looks good. Looks good. Looks good. Looks good. Looks good. Yeah. Nope, didn't break anything. Okay, we'll turn the beacon on. Turn the power on. Turn the oh, there you go. There you go. Alrighty. Put some fuel in here. That looks good. Turn it off. Hopefully I didn't flood it this time. There we go. Turn taxi on. Avionics on. Okay, so we're in a G1000 now, and this Big Screen Beyond allowed me to actually fly a G1000. So, on a G1000, these screens aren't very big. so, so, so the text on them is pretty small. And if your headset isn't up to the task, isn't high enough resolution, then you'll just be squinting the whole time trying to figure out what the actual numbers are. So, but with this headset and with my my new Big Screen Beyond, it's gonna be better. So back to my my Shift-All Megan X Superlight 8K. So I was like led to believe that I could, because I have a 4090, I would have to run it at lower resolution to because I just kill the frames if I tried to run it even at native or that or the 8K, and that in my experience is not true. And I'm gonna do a video. This one here was just really kind of just talking about the resolution. And the other thing I wanted to talk about today is the new software for my my yoke. And so it's, if the GPU that you have, how should I put this? If your headset has a resolution per eye above, I'll say 2500, I would say just above 2500, then I'm just, it's sad to say, but for to actually do that headset justice, you'll need a 5090, and that includes the Shift-All Megan X 8K. It includes like the if I remember correctly, the Pimax Super, because the Pimax Super it's up there in res too. I think that's 3500, something like that. But I mean, when you get into that kind of resolution, I am talking only in X-Plane 12. In Microsoft Flight Simulator, you'll be able to turn on foveated rendering. That'll help you. But in X-Plane 12, currently, X-Plane, where am I at? So I'm X-Plane 12.2.1 Beta 1. At that version of X-Plane, we ain't got foveated rendering. So we don't, that won't help us. It sounds like it is coming, but we don't have it now. So because of those facts, we're kind of stuck with where we are. And so that's kind of what I've found is that even the higher resolution, I was told that because the pixels are so close together, it would be sharper. Now this this Big Screen Beyond 1, actually, when I look at this text here, these little buttons, so this AP, FD, you know, nose up, nose down, those are all readable. They were on my Megan X. They weren't as sharp as they are in my current Big Screen Beyond. I tried and tried and tried to try to get that thing dialed in where I could go, yep, now I can see it's better. No, I can't. I couldn't do it. So so that's kind of a little bit sad, but it's kind of what it is. So that's kind of where I am right now. So what I'm going to do, I'm thinking tomorrow, because I only have my 4090 for a few more days, and I will no longer have it, but I will have a 5090. So I didn't realize that I could actually trade in On Newegg, they have a trade-in policy, and I didn't know about it. And so it so if you buy a 5090, you can trade in your 4090. I had not planned on building a new box anyhow, so that kind of worked out where I can just yank out my 4090, slide in the 5090, and then I send the 4090 back to Newegg. And the trade-in value of my 4090 was $1,600. I paid $2,000 for it a little over 2 years ago. So I went, really? And like went, well, that takes the bite out of buying the 5090. That was about $3,300. So in the end, out of pocket for the 5090 is gonna be like $1,700. So kind of like went, okay, I can, because I had vowed that I wouldn't pay over $2,000 for a 5090. I didn't realize trade-ins could be in the equation. So that's what I've done. So on what was it, July 9th, I think, Wednesday my 5090's coming. So at that point, I'll pull my 4090 out. I'll swap out my all-in-one water cooler because it's kind of showing. Yeah, it's kind of showing it's not doing the job it used to do. So I got a new one sitting here. I'll just do it all at the same time. So, okie dokie. So let me do a direct to here. So I'll turn here. So we're gonna fly out to Launch Nation. And like these letters are really small, but they're absolutely readable. I don't have to squint. I don't have to lean in. Lost Nation. Okay, so I got that dialed in. Yep. So all looking good. So let me think. What am I gonna do here? Everything's all good. So let's down. Oh, let's see what ADA says.
And Lima. Erie International Tom Ridgefield. Information Lima. 1451 Zulu. Wind 060 at 3. Visibility 10. Sky conditions clear. Temperature 23. Dew point 12. Altimeter 3016. Density altitude 1600 feet. Arriving and departing runways 2420.
I gotta figure out what I got. I got something wrong. I had it yesterday and I forgot all about fixing it. For some reason I have two ATISs going on. I think I'm using SayIntentions, so I think one of the ATISs is coming from SayIntentions, and the other one is coming from Explain. So I gotta figure out how to fix that, but it'll be another. I'll do it after the stream. I just forgot about it. So okay, so I'm on ground. I got we're doing runway 24. I got that dialed in. So see if we can get permission to taxi over to 24, and we'll be on our way. Ground Cessna 6 Bravo Golf. Request taxi to runway 24.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, taxi to runway 24 via Foxtrot Delta, cross runway 2, then Alpha. Contact tower on 118.1 when ready for departure.
Taxi to runway 24 via Foxtrot Delta, cross runway 2, then Alpha. Contact tower on 118.1, Cessna 6 Bravo Golf. Okay, so I got the GPS. I got a direct 2 in for Launch Nation, and I guess we can move along. So it's going to be kind of interesting when I get my new big screen beyond, because it sounds like the lenses are just so much better than these, and actually I seem to have less problem with these lenses than many other people do. So the fact that it allowed me to move to a G1000, this lenses can't be, you know. It's kind of like, what did I get? The best lenses that they made? I mean, I don't know, but I don't have any serious problems with them. So, you know, and kind of the way I look at it is the most important thing is can you read the stuff in the cockpit? You know. Okie dokie. So this is a runway that generally isn't used. So I've landed on this runway, that runway though. My instructor, we were in the pattern, and he says, "Hey, he got called tower and says we're going to land on this runway." And I'm like, "Oh, okay." It's a lot shorter. I mean, the runway now it's about 8,000 feet, and that one's probably 2,000 feet. And at the time when I was training, the runway was only 5,000 feet. They extended it, and so that was kind of like surprise, you know. I mean, because we would have taken off on this runway and then turned crosswind, and then on the downwind, he says he got permission from tower to land on that runway. So we just did a touch and go. So, but a lot less room for error. So yeah, so I had a great time at My FSExpo. That was just so much fun. Got to meet. I didn't meet as many people as I had planned on. It was just too many people to meet. And but it was so much fun. So, and got to meet some new people that are working for Laminar. So that was kind of neat too. That I had never met before. So met Stepan. Where's he live? Stepan lives in Laos, and he's taken over the
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, contact tower on 118.1.
Contact tower, Cessna 6 Bravo Golf. And so he has he's taken over mobile from Chris, and he also does replay. So that's kind of what his job is. So and met these are people I've met for the first time. Oh, I can't remember her name now. Oh, I'm sorry. But she's like a tester for them. So when they get a new release, she's the one that they give the first builds to. So okay, let's see here. Let me get this going. Whoops, not that. This, that. Tower Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, ready for departure. Straight out.
Cessna 256 Bravo Golf, Erie International, Tom Ridgefield, tower, runway 24, wind 060 at 3. Cleared for takeoff. After takeoff, fly runway heading until reaching 500, then proceed on course.
Cleared for takeoff. Remain runway heading. Cessna 6 Bravo Golf. Okay. I gotta do something here. That's a little bit better. All right. Myself some power. So I'm running a new version of the FFB tools from FlightSim.com that we were using at the FlightSim and oops, come on. Okay, let me get. Okay. So just like a real Cessna, as we start going down the runway here, this yoke is pushing back. The elevator is starting to get like to neutral, and so it's at neutral, and before you rotate, then it so we're trimmed for takeoff, and so we're climbing out at around about 2390, climbing out at around 74, 75 knots, somewhere it's around there. So we're doing about 600, 700 feet per minute climbing out of here. And so that's kind of like a real airplane. So it's kind of cool, you know, that they've kind of got this software where it is it kind of matches what a real airplane does. So that it makes it a lot of fun to fly. So where are we at? Yeah, lined up pretty good. Alrighty, so I gotta get I said I gotta be 500 feet above the ground, so 700 plus 5 looks like I'm there. So I'm gonna go ahead and click it on autopilot. So we'll click on autopilot. He jumps a little bit. Just kind of watching the trim. Seemed like it's doing something kind of a little bit funky, but we'll kind of work through it. Because it didn't do this yesterday. The only difference is I'm running a reality expansion pack plane, and I was running a default plane yesterday. Is there is that the reason? Not sure. Not sure. Because yesterday, because what I'm looking at the indicator, and the indicators stayed pretty close to the takeoff pointer there. The movable one and the fixed one for trim for takeoff. And it stayed pretty close to that, and that's not today. So, and the only difference is this is not a default aircraft. It's a reality expansion pack aircraft. Is that the reason? Quite frankly, it's the first time I've flown the reality expansion pack airplane with this new software. So we have more research to do. Because that's what I experienced with the old software with this airplane. So looks like I may have some tuning to do. And maybe the right thing to do would be to take the take the default Cessna, put the redo the reality expansion pack, and from the default Cessna in a version of X-Plane I'm using right now. I think I'll probably end up doing that. So that was a surprise. I didn't expect to see that, but
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, you're leaving my airspace. Frequency change approved.
frequency change approved. Cessna 6 Bravo Golf. Whoops, I forgot. Forgot to put my transponder on alt. I wonder why.
Attention all aircraft. Erie International Tom Ridge Field. Information on the current. Altimeter 3016.
Yeah, because I could tell as soon as I put the autopilot on, I could see what was going on. I felt it a little bit in the yoke. The yoke kind of went further back. So the blue line is here. Yesterday when I was flying, it was pretty close to the center. And so that's kind of interesting. So may make my touch and go at Lost Nation a little bit entertaining. So, So I think what I'm gonna do, I was gonna do a touch and go at Lost Nation. I believe I'm going to do. I think I'm gonna do a full stop landing, and switch aircraft. So I'll fly the default G1000 on the way back and see if it's different. I'm thinking it will be, but you only know if you try. So. Yeah, 'cause when I was flying out, I was about 98, 99. So I must have, yeah, I was at 310 on RPM. So we'll see what this turns out. So we're flying along the shores of Lake Erie, and Lost Nation is a GA airport just east of Cleveland, probably 10 miles from Burke, you know, where they had the Cleveland Air Show. So it's an airport I've flown to in real life, in a Cessna 172 with an instructor, and it was part of my long cross country, long solo cross country. It was my first airport that I stopped at. So, and when you're doing a solo cross country, you can't do touch and go, so you have to do full stop landings and then take off, and you know, so, and being an untowered field, so you had to, you know, make calls to CTAP, and you know, I was under flight following from Cleveland Center, so. I was on Cleveland Center till I took off, and then I headed to Youngstown, and shortly, probably halfway through that flight from Lost Nation to Youngstown, Cleveland Center handed me off to Youngstown Approach. So So then I went to Youngstown, and then I flew back to Erie. So that was my long solo cross country. So I think I got 10 or 12 hours solo in a 172. So I was close to getting my license, but it just didn't work out. So I got much more serious with flight simulation and with creating plugins for X-Plane, that it kind of filled that void. Because I was flying, I'd probably fly two sessions a week, you know. So, but I was working at the time, had reasonable disposable income. You know, you could afford to do that. Once I retired, I had the time, and I didn't have the stress of work. Why I really quit my private training was just stress of work. So I didn't have the stress, but I didn't have the disposable income. So it's like, okay, this is way cheaper to do, even though my toys are expensive. Way cheaper than flying a real airplane. So. So far, the latest version of X-Plane I've been pretty happy with. I got there's one bug in VR that I filed the bug, and it doesn't happen all the time. It's real random, but like in the across the horizon here, every once in a while, and it's fast. I can pick it up in a VOD. I can pick it up, but like where all the kind of clouds are, they're kind of hazy today, so it's hard to see. But where all them clouds are, all of a sudden you'll get a really, really quick flicker of like all the white clouds turn to black clouds. But it's fast. I mean, it's a second or two. It's pretty quick, and but it's not all the time. And never experienced it in 2D. I don't fly in 2D a lot, but just never have. And but I do experience it in VR, so not so sure. So for scenery, I'm running, let's see here. I'm running X World from Sibhaven, and running Global Forest version 2 for trees, so. So we're about 40 miles from this airport, and so a lot of this is just kind of testing my yoke. Yeah, that's looking better, but it's still not the same. Yeah, for some reason, it so you can look at the chevrons here. I'm at level flight. There is no, I'm at 4,500 feet level flight. But if you look at my trim indicator, it's quite a bit nose down. So at trim for takeoff, this here would be 0. Can't remember if it's 0.7 or if it's 0.7. I think it's 0.7. That's where trim for takeoff is. So this is quite a bit more nose down that I would expect, and for level flight. So I'm thinking it's got to be related to the reality expansion pack plane. That there's something about that I'll have to see if I can adjust the parameters in the software, because the way the software works is when I load in a plane, it loads in a profile. So for each plane. So the reality expansion pack planes are different than the default aircrafts are. So so that allows me the ability to kind of tweak that, and so I'll have to kind of figure out what I can do to kind of make this better. So it's not like terrible. It isn't something that when I go to land, this is going to be so the trim's going to be so bad that I won't be able to land. No, that I figured out how to make this make it work, but I'm also I'm a few knots faster than I was, but that's 2340. Let's try to get it back a little slower and see where the knots go. I'm not so sure like how many, like if you went from 2310 to 2340, how many knots it is. I don't think it's many. It doesn't look like it's many. So the difference in airspeed is how much it's got to be related to the trim. That's interesting. But yeah, she's slowing down a little bit. Yeah, RPM did too, so constantly fighting. So I spent some time at the X-Plane booth at Flight Sim Expo, and so talked to Philip a little bit, and talked to Ben, and Ben was only there on Saturday. He on Sunday his I think it was his boy's birthday, so he went back home on Sunday for his boy's birthday. So but I chatted a little bit about VR and kind of what's coming, what they feel they can talk about, and so it does appear like there's something called whatever that is called, SSVR or something like that. But basically it is it's a method where you'll render the kind of the focal, you'll render where you're looking at a higher resolution, and then where you're not looking at, you'll render that at a lower resolution. So it kind of appeared like it needed eye tracking, but that wasn't clear to me at all. So I'm not so sure if it'll only work with headsets that have eye tracking or headsets that don't. I'm not. Those details just weren't clear at all. So that was interesting. And then of course they're constantly talking about the new scenery, but appears like that's not that's a ways off, you know. I mean, so I don't think it's a year off, but I don't think it's a few months off. I think it's much more than that. So I'm just looking at how different the buildings and stuff look with the default scenery and with X World. I find that kind of interesting that I'm gonna have to do some real serious comparisons to see, because it looks different, like quite a bit, and I'm not so sure I'm saying it looks better. Quite frankly, I'm almost thinking it looks better with default scenery. That's kind of nuts. But yeah, I'll have to spend some more time kind of looking. So I spent time there at the X-Plane booth, and then I spent time over at the FlightSim.com booth. Like I said, I got to try out my my new rudder pedals, and so if we look out here in the distance, there's two cooling towers I can see from here. Not sure how far they are away. They're quite a ways away. That's one thing that I do see is like in X-Plane's default scenery, things like that aren't in the scenery. So because it's a peri-nuclear plant is what it is. So but they're a landmark that you can see from quite a ways away. So because even though it's hazy, I mean they stick out. So because they're big. Then I went over to SayIntentions booth and spent just a little bit of time there. So Brian, the CEO, he just they had their own stage there, so they had somebody on stage the whole time they were there. So he was pretty busy. So the same way as most of the people, you know, that you're trying to meet, you know, they got a lot of things they're trying to do too. So it's kind of interesting. I met Mark. He has a channel called Get Your Game On, and he's a big VR person, and he was at the and I didn't know he was gonna be there, but so there's DOF, the motion platform company. He was at their booth, and I'm looking, I'm like, and he's got a shirt on from them, and I'm like, man, I didn't think he worked for these people. No, he doesn't. He has volunteered and to kind of help with the booth. They were busy. I mean, they had a board up there that listed everybody that was gonna test the motion platform. I think platforms. And the board was full all day. It was incredible. So I just got to chat with him for just a little bit, but he has had he's had bad luck with Pimax headsets. So and that's kind of what first caught my attention is I was watching one of his videos about that, and so it was interesting. So got to spend some time and told them about me getting a Megan X, and they didn't have one of them, and you know, I was getting a big screen beyond. So quick chat, but it was kind of cool to like somebody that you've only seen on YouTube, and you actually, because I mean I kind of like looked at his face and looked at his hair and kind of like went, oh, I know who that is. So I went up and introduced myself. So. Yeah, so now we're about right. We're about 99, 98 knots. But the trim is still more nose down than what I remembered. So that's what I'm going to do when I land here at Lost Nation. I'll taxi off and kind of change plane and fly back the default Cessna 172. So. Can't believe how different that scenery looks. Just the kind of what I'm seeing is just the buildings look kind of drab, and it's interesting. So I think tomorrow I'll fly. I'm gonna fly the default. I've got a different copy with the default scenery. I'm gonna fly the default scenery and see, you know, since I'm doing doing a stream. I got a VOD, so I'll be able to kind of compare and see how different it is. It seems quite different. Not sure. Alrighty, we got 19 miles to go. About 11 minutes. So. That's kind of just what I'm trying to. I wanted to accomplish a couple of things today. Is just go over resolution of headsets and once you get in the high end, in other words, headsets above like 2,500 per eye, they just demand for them to look right. They just demand like a 5090. So, and I just happened to get lucky where I could actually trade in my 4090. It worked for me because I wasn't going to build a new box, so I can swap that out and swap out my all-in-one water cooler and see how it goes from there. So my rudder pedals, yeah, they'll be anywhere from the 15th on. I think my rudder pedals should be here. My Big Stream Beyond 2E should be here probably about the same time, maybe as late as the 25th of July. So we'll just have to see. Isn't like I don't have toys to play with, so. But the hall at Providence, that was huge. They actually had an airplane. They had I think it's called a Super Patriot. It's ultralight and or light sport, and that was pretty cool, you know. And who was that? Parallel 42. Basically, it's doing they're working in partner with the owner of Patriot aircraft, and so in Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024, they're making that airplane. So that was kind of cool. That you know, both of them were there, both the Parallel 42 developers and the owner of Patriot aircraft. They were both there, so at the same booth. So it had the whole plane was there and stuff. It's kind of pretty cool. The plane set up kind of like a bush plane, so it's set up to for camping and stuff like that. So on the airplane, there's a place where you can actually hook a hammock on it underneath the wing. You know, it's pretty neat. So. Yeah, when I was getting ready to stream, I turned the air conditioner on. I didn't realize how loud it was, so I have a portable air conditioner that's right next to my desk. So I had to kind of turn up the volume of a couple of things to so I could actually like hear the switches and that kind of stuff. So, but I haven't seen my clouds today. That's kind of interesting. You know, because normally when I'm like scanning out in front of me, that's when I'll see them. Just really, really quick. See, it's fast. It's 1 or 2 seconds, and they're like, you see these black clouds that basically look like they're replacing the white clouds. Then they're gone. It's just so fast. But I was surprised that on the VODs, you actually see it. So. And what I've learned to do now is if I see it, then I'll do go into the developer on the plugins drop down and do a weather log dump to try to capture that information, so that just to give explain Laminar Research more information as to what might be going on. So. But at My FSExpo, Laminar was using developer version of let's see, X-Plane 12.3.0 developer version, 1 or 2, can't remember. And so what that's going to bring is it's going to bring synthetic vision to the G1000, bring in weather radar, both in the plane and an SD and to the SDK. So that's going to be pretty neat too. Is it'll bring that kind of stuff so that. And the other thing you can do is Amy worked on a plugin that you can basically use this plugin to basically do that. Not as an aircraft developer, but trying to think how that was done. But it's actually a plugin that you can use, and they're open sourcing it. This plugin, they're open sourcing it so that it's on GitHub. So you'll be able to do that. Basically, you'll be able to interact with the SDK on those added features that are coming in 12.3. So, alrighty, about 10 miles out. So I'm gonna kill off the autopilot. Pull the power back a bit here. Start descending. The airport I'm going to, Lost Nation, is 600 feet, and I'm at 4,500. So I'm 8 miles away, so I got to get rid of some elevation here. I see I forgot something when I loaded in this plane. Turn the engine sound up a little bit so I can hear it better. It helps me to know if I'm overspeeding. I was looking at the airspeed and I was up around 100, and I didn't want to be that high, so okay, so it's 5 miles out. I would hope I could see it by now, but I'm not so sure I can. I think it's over there though. Yeah, that's gotta be it. So one more thing I forgot to bring in here. Set COM1 standby 122.725.
COM1 standby set to 122.725.
Okay, there's the airport. We're gonna be landing on runway 23. I was in the process of doing that, and I had a few other pressing tasks on I needed to deal with. Alrighty. So we're right around 2,000 RPM. Just kind of letting it descend here. When I get down to 2,500 or so, I'll try to level it off and get lined up for the downwind for runway 23. And like I said, I'm gonna do a full stop landing here. I had planned on a touch and go, but I need to test some things here, so I'll load the default G1000 in. It's all looking pretty good. Put it up here for a little bit. So yeah, 37. So basically, it's half of the native res of this headset. So basically pulled back on the yoke a little bit, give it a little bit of down, doing nose up trim. So trying to get the nose raised a little bit to kind of try to get a kind of level. And then we'll kind of go from there. So it slowed the descent down a little bit. Lost a little bit of RPM. I'll put that back until we get closer to getting more ready to land. I'm gonna go out here a little bit and so I'll do a chair drop out here and to get set up for the downwind. Got a golf course over here. Yeah, it's not like I'd say the scenery is bad, but it seems kind of drab. I don't see the colors that I saw that I think I see in the default scenery. So I gotta do some investigating on that. So okay. Oh, well, I'll turn her around. There's one. Yeah. I just seen my black clouds, but I'm kind of a little too busy to do a dump. Okay. So the runway to the left over there, that's the one I need. I'm gonna pull back the power a little bit. Launch Nation, Cessna 6 Bravo Golf. Downwind runway 23. Inbound for full stop landing. So that's the CTAP frequency. Okay, so I'm at 2,000 feet. So I'm gonna have to back taxi, so I'll pick one of the taxiways, kind of the first one I can find, and I'll go off on the right, spin around, and do a back taxi after I change aircraft. So Okay. So we'll power back a little bit. Hold up on the yoke. Put 10 degrees of flaps in. Twenty degrees in. Lost Nation Cessna 6 Bravo Golf turning final for runway 23. Not bad. There should be a taxiway coming up here pretty quick. Oh, been in here. Lost Nation Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, clear of active runway 23. Cessna 6 Bravo Golf. Okay. So we'll spin this guy around. Actually go over here. Spin him around. Okay. Put parking brake on. Turn the avionics off. Fill the engine. Taking off. Power off. Okay. Make sure I got it all cleaned up. I think I do. Yep. All right. So, I go pick a different airplane. So that there's a rep. This one here is not. So, do I got any fancy? No. I'll have to work on that. But the liveries I have on the rep planes are SayIntentions, and so we'll just stick with this one. So start a new flight. Oh, that is not what I planned on doing. It would be nice if I'm gonna guess that's close. It would be nice if when you like loaded a new aircraft, it basically loaded where you were. Just load the aircraft. Load the aircraft where you are. So I'm a little bit lost. Not too bad. I remember the car. Looking for where I am. Yeah, okay, I'm good. I'm good. So, alrighty. And, yep, that's good. Oh. So now we're in a non-G1000 airplane. And, so I am, let me get the airplane started up here. Beacon on. Okay. Get a couple things set up here. Get my sound. Get Abbott tab. Oh, 625. That sounds like about where I'm at. Yeah. Okay. So, I want to see if I can find a spot where I was. I'm gonna cheat a little bit. So, looks like I'm going the right way. If I go over here. Yep, I can see it now. I was trying to get to the same place, same parking place I was at. So I was parked right there when I reloaded the plane. Come over here. Spin around. Bop. Okay, let's do, Huh. Why? I was like, it wouldn't let me pick Erie. I'm like, what the hell's going on with this? So, alrighty, so I got that dialed in. The GPS elevations are look good, and I'm on CTAP, so should be good to go. So I'm gonna have to back taxi, and we'll see if this plane acts differently. So I'm on the default 172 G1000. So, alrighty. Lost Nation, Cessna 6 Bravo Golf. Taking runway, back taxiing on runway 23 for takeoff. Cessna 6 Bravo Golf. So there's an area at the end of this where you can kind of go around and get out of the way when you're getting ready to take off. Yeah, well, I'm streaming. I was thinking about loading my other version of X-Plane, but when I'm streaming, it's like, nah, that may be asking for too much. So I'll just fly back with the scenery, just with a different airplane, to see if is it related, you know? And somehow I think it is. So, alrighty. So this area here is like a loop. So go over here. Okay. So when you, and maybe it's, I mean, when I'm on the ground and I look, those houses look okay. So, well, I gotta investigate, like, you know. But I'm trying to use as good a scenery as I can, and I've always thought X World was pretty good, you know, and because it does give you like storefronts and that kind of stuff, you know. So it's kind of, but yeah, when I start streaming more, need to. Okay. Lost Nation Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, getting ready to take runway 23, Cessna 6 Bravo Golf. Okay, so put that on, that on, that on. Trim for takeoff. Okay. Looks like we're good to go. Flaps are up. Altimeter looks correct. Airspeed's alive. Up we go. Okay. So we'll see how different this is. Seems subtly different on takeoff. Nothing I was worried about. I just watched the, like right now, the airspeed seems to be lower than what I would think, and I'm not sure why that is, but still, I got it in full power, so alrighty. So we'll roll around here. I should have looked at the vertical speed and see what I was climbing out at. And maybe there's just something different with the weather out this way. I don't know. So we're supposed to be on a heading of 74. I'm 140, so trying to like parallel this runway right now, and once I get out past the airport, then we'll try autopilot and see how it acts. So, because I was quite frankly really happy with how it was acting. I need to three. 3,500. If I remember right, what's below me is Interstate 90, so. Alrighty. Trying to get it pointed back in kind of where the course is. So it was at 72 knots for a flight level change. I changed it to 75, so. Yep, there's absolutely a difference between these two planes. That is interesting. So what I'm going to have to do is take this default airplane, copy it over, make it, and update it to rep, and see if there's a difference then. You know, is there a chance that my Is there a chance that the version of the 172, the default 172 I'm using, is kind of an older version, and that's it, or is it just the fact that the reality expansion pack plane is that different trim wise than what the default aircraft is? Got to figure that out, because it is dramatically different. If you look right down now, so we're level plate, and remember on the plate over here, that indicator and where the arrow, the takeoff thingy is, now it's close to lined up, and yeah, and if I remember correctly, trim for takeoff should be 0.07. I'm pretty sure. So we're pretty close to that, you know. So there's something odd, not odd, something different going on between the default 172 and the rep 172. So there are the clouds. I got time now. So we go over to advanced menu. We go to developer. We go down to dump the log. We go to dump weather's state of log. Click that. Yep. So basically what that does is that in the it adds a weather dump of the current weather right now in the log.txt file. So if you ever see weather clouds that don't look right, go ahead and do that, and then file a bug report. The only way bugs get fixed is if you see something wrong and you don't want to continue to see them wrong, you have to file a bug report so that it will get fixed. Yeah, this is way different. Yeah, I'll have to message Fabian. That's interesting. But I have to make a new version of rep to make sure that's not what's going on. So they were there again. I think they're so fast it's hard to catch them. So, but once again, here's the cooling towers of a Perry nuclear plant. And like I said, they show up in X World, but they don't show up in the Explain default scenery. So I'm kind of torn. So my goal is tomorrow, I think I'm going to fly the Megan X tomorrow. And so what resolution I'm running? 74, so it should be 3,000. No, 3,064. So negative the default on this is 2560. Dump the log. Weather state. Yep. So I'm going to try to run the same resolution when I fly tomorrow. Run the Megan X. Oh, hello, Downwind. How are you? Glad you could join me. We're testing the my new well, this isn't new. Oh, I had a blast. Last year I ordered this yoke. It's flightsim.com CLS 60. I ordered it, and then it was supposed to come in September. So when I was at Flight Sim Expo last year, I actually tried the yoke out before I ever had it myself. So this year, I had pre-ordered the FlightSim.com force feedback rudder pedals, and they left Hong Kong the beginning of the week. To the beginning of the week, they were put on a boat coming here, and so I got to this Flight Sim Expo. I got to try the rudder pedals at Flight Sim Expo. So I did this like two years in a row. So and I love the rudder pedals. Not cheap. They're like 1,900 or 1,800, somewhere's in there. And but the realism it brings, that was just great. So looking forward to them. They probably will come about, I don't know, 15th of this month, maybe, something like that. So, but yeah, I had a blast there. It was so much fun. So wasn't a whole lot of VR stuff there, you know, but I got to spend some time at the X-Plane booth and at the FlightSim.com booth, and got to just meet a lot of people that I had met before at Flight Sim Expo, people that I knew I was trying to connect with. So, but it was fun. It was fun. So on my yoke, when I flew from Erie to Lost Nation, and I looked at the way the trim is, and the trim was on level flight. The trim was way more nose down than it is now. Right now, it's a little bit above where it would be for takeoff trim, a little bit above it. But when I was flying out, it was way above it. Like, it wasn't half up to full, but it was at least a quarter up from center here. And so I went, oh, maybe it's reality expansion pack plane. So what I did is I landed at Lost Nation and then loaded in the default 172, and it's dramatically different. So, and that's what I did yesterday. So sometimes something is, there's something different between the reality expansion pack 172 and the default one that's affecting my yoke. And I just got to figure out what that is. So. Because the way the yoke works is when you load in an aircraft, it loads in a profile for that. And I'm pretty sure the profiles are similar, if not the same. So it shouldn't be that different, but there's got to be something going on that how the rep plane is treating trim's got to be different than the default. So just have to figure it out. But something, I'm not sure if you've seen this downwind. When you're flying in VR, if you look out like at the horizon, kind of like, every once in a while, it's almost like the white clouds turn black. And they do this for about a second or two. And then they're gone. And then it goes away. It's like, and it isn't like, because I turned my headset, no. I could be looking right straight ahead, not moving at all, and I'll just see it. It's kind of like, really? What's that all about? You know? So what I've been doing is whenever I see it, I've been trying to do a weather dump to the log and then I'll file I've already filed one bug report about it, but this time I actually have a video record of it, so that I can give them a timestamp and say, look at this timestamp, and then have it in the weather dump in the log file, so that they can kind of compare. So So we're on our way back to Erie, about 39 miles away, and 22 miles, so 22 minutes. So yeah, lots of hardware. I mean, man, alive is there lots of hardware, and a lot of it, at least it seemed, fairly reasonably priced. I'm not an airline guy, but they had a miniature from an airliner, a miniature overhead. So it was about a half to a third the size of a regular one. So it was miniaturized. But it had all the buttons, all the knobs, all that stuff in it. So I mean, it all would work. And the other thing they had, which was really cool, was kind of like a cockpit, kind of like this cockpit. And on the cockpit, they had places where you could put modules. So the modules were what they reminded me of. I have for my VR controllers, I have magnetic connectors on them, and so basically I can take my charging cables and just drop them on the controller, and they'll charge. They were magnetically held to this bezel thing, and you could see the exactly the same type of connectors were basically on the module and on the bezel part. So you just drop them in place, and so there was about 5 or 6 connections. So you had to have a couple for power, and then the others had to be multiplexing for data. Which was, and so as soon as you dropped them on there, within a few seconds, they basically lit up and whatever they were doing. So if they were reading a comm frequency or a transponder, they would within a few seconds they would come to life. It was the slickest thing I'd ever seen. So not much use in a VR headset, but but they were pretty cool. So. Yeah, there they are again. Yeah, it really was pretty cool. I didn't remember what the name of the company was, but it was quite slick. So. Wing was there. Man, they had a huge booth. Oh my word, they had a lot of stuff. So, and then Moza was there too, and so Moza's also has a port speed deck deal, and I'm trying to kind of compare. Moza's cheaper. It has more buttons and knobs on it, but what I don't know is how realistic it is. From some of the reports that I've watched from people that were there and tried it, they didn't think it was too realistic to a real airplane, and so that's kind of what I'm looking for. I mean, it's I want this thing to act like a real. I want my yoke and rudder pedals to act like a real airplane does. And if it doesn't, can I adjust the configuration to make it true? So right now, I mean, I know how this yoke works when like the airplane is not running, where the elevator is drooped down. Yeah, I think that's true. They had a huge booth, so they had a lot of stuff. So, but so the yoke is like the elevator is drooped down, so the elevator is shoved all the way forward, and you start the engine, the elevator lifts a little bit, yoke moves back a little bit, and as you give it more prop watch across that, then it lifts a little bit more, but it's never neutral. And so when you go to take off, you're kind of at that state, even as you give it full power, it's still drooped down a bit. And but as you accelerate down the runway, the more airspeed you gain, the more the elevator raises until it's pretty close, if not at neutral, before rotation speed. And that's how real airplanes work. So to be able to replicate that in a 4-speed deck yoke is a pretty cool experience. So, and that's what I get to experience with this. So that's what I got to figure out. Why is there a difference between the default 172 and the rep 172? So is it a configuration I can change in the FFP tools, or is it something that's in rep that the way Claudio's doing it, it kind of makes it do that? So I don't know yet. Was looking for the railroad tracks because there's quite a few railroad spurs down through here. So back over here, there's those 2 slips. They bring ships in, and they load them. They load them there. So it almost looked like, yeah. I thought the default scenery I had more railroad spurs down here in this area, but I'll have to check again. But I kind of like so with the new versions of X-Plane, you have so the coastlines look like way better than they looked before. So you can see the shoreline down through here. You know, it looks quite nice. So yeah, so kind of different than Vegas. Vegas had like a whole bunch of restaurants in the hotel, where in Providence on the Omni where I stayed at, they had a few. I think they had 3, and one was more kind of like a bar, and the other 2 were restaurants. That's where they had they had like a breakfast buffet, and so we generally ate breakfast there, and but for supper we would go not too far from the Omni, within 4 blocks. There was just a bunch of restaurants. There was one, we ate at one that was called 110, the 110 Grill, and I was pretty happy with the food there. And then across the street there was Murphy's, and so that was an Irish pub. So there's a streamer called Two-Tone Murphy, and so that's kind of where he was hanging out at. It's after the event was over for the day, they would go over there. So that was kind of cute. So I didn't get to meet him this time. I did in Vegas, but I didn't get to meet him this time. So I seen him, but he looked like he was in a bit of a hurry. So I decided to just let him go. So. But they had food there at the event, at the expo, but I didn't. I just didn't eat lunch. So normally I don't normally eat lunch anyhow. So. So how are we doing? Not too bad. I am pretty good. Yeah, so X World takes a few frames from me, so my frame times seem like they're a bit better than what they were with when I was using. Oh no, I'm still using X World. I'm just using a different aircraft. That's interesting too. Maybe it's a rep airplane that's different. It could be, but these seem like better than what I was going out. You know. They were certainly in the orange for sure, so. I know when I get close to Cleveland, and that's where Lost Nation is, yeah, it takes, because of all the scenery at Cleveland, it tends to drag it down a little bit, so. Okay. So where are we? So we're about 20 miles out from Erie, and so I'll do gonna do a full stop landing there, so. But yeah, so kind of what I was to kind of recap what I was trying to accomplish today is one was to test the new software, and glad I did, because that was a surprise. So and it's like, how much resolution is enough? So it depends on the plane you're flying. If you're flying like a like a 6-pack, you know, an analog steam gauge airplane, then you won't need as much resolution in your headset if you're flying a G1000. So, and quite frankly, the My Big Screen Beyond currently is what allowed me to move from steam gauge cockpits to G1000 cockpits. So but when you do that, the more resolution in the headset, then the more horsepower you have to give it, or the frames you'll just get low frames. So and I find that with my Big Screen Beyond, I'm running it at so it's 2560 by 2560, and the res I'm super sampling it a little bit, so I'm running it at 3064 by 3064, so super sampling a little bit, but it absolutely allows me with my 4090 to comfortably see everything, every text, so I can see what the distance is. I can see that we're about 10 minutes out, and so it allows me to kind of glance and not have to like lean in. You know, I can just kind of just look over and know what it is. And as you go in higher res headsets, so like a Meganex Super Light, like a Shift-Off Meganex Super Light 8K, or like a Pimax Super, those are in the range of like 3,500 per eye, and so you go from about 12 megapixels to about 25 megapixels, so they're almost twice as many megapixels. And a 4090 is just not going to be happy. It's just not, you know. So the only way I can run my my Shift-Off Meganex 8K is I have to run it at the same resolution. I have to run it at 3000. So basically, I'm undersampling the headset, and it just does not look. Whenever you have to run under the native resolution of a VR headset, it won't look as good as it could. And so that's what I found, is that like I can clearly see that's COM 1, COM 2, COM 3. I can clearly see the 1, 2, 3s. And same way over here, I can clearly see that's nose up and nose down. That text is really, really, really small. And where with my Meganex at 3000, no, I'm guessing, I know what they are because I've flown it for so long, but it's not, I wouldn't call it, I couldn't individually see the NOSE. I know it's nose, but I couldn't individually see the letters, where my big screen I can, and on my big screen beyond 2E, the lenses are even better, so it'll be even sharper because the lenses will be better. So that was kind of what I kind of set out to try to accomplish today, was just the how different all the headsets are, and what you need to do to run them. You know, I mean, so if you're running a headset 2000 per eye, then you'll have an easier time running it. You can run a 4060 or a 4050 or something like that, even a 3090, and but as you step up in resolution, then you need I did not try, but I watched. There's a reason for this. I don't want to get hooked because I don't have the room to run one. But I did spend some time at the DOF booth, and I have somebody that I started watching their YouTube channel. That's a VR, another fellow VR user, and he's had bad luck. He's had bad luck with Pimaxes, and that's kind of what caught my attention. So I kind of knew. I didn't know he was going to be there, but I knew the face and his hair, and so I'm walking around, and I'm at the DOF booth, and I look and I see him. I went, and I didn't know his name either, so I see it on his tag. I went, "Hey, Mark," I says, "I watched your YouTube channel." I says, "You seem to have a challenge with Pimax." And so that's how I started the conversation. Oh yeah. So I told him that I have a Megan X, and he doesn't, and so that's how we started it up. And he was so he doesn't work for DOF, but he was just volunteering, and so he was kind of helping out because they were busy, and we struck up a conversation, and but I knew he was busy, so we only chatted for a little bit, and yeah, what they were showing off, that they had DCS running. I got 10 miles to go. I better think about landing. But they had DCFs running, and basically what they were doing is catapult launches with a fighter, and man, that motion rig, that got your attention. Oh my word! I mean, you could just the so when you get launched off a catapult, I mean, you get slammed into the your seat. Yeah, you could see it. You could. I mean, and if you were in it, you could feel it. It was incredible. So, yeah, there was. I'm gonna have to get out of autopilot and be ready to land. I'm about 10 miles from Erie. So, alrighty. So we'll pull it back a little bit. And but you could absolutely see that. But they were booked. They had a board that was that basically was people that were waiting in line, and the board was full all day. Every day I went by there, it was just nuts. So, alrighty, we got everything cleared off. Yeah. Erie. Set COM1 standby 121.900.
COM1 standby set to 121.9er.
All right, now I got ground dialed in. Okay. So yeah, that was. I knew if I tried it, I'd probably have to figure out how to build a room onto my house. Because it takes up some real estate, but I can't even imagine like being in VR using force feedback and having a motion rig. That's got to be some immersion. No doubt about it. So for me, as close as I'm going to get, it's what I got right now, and what I will have with my force feedback rudder pedal. So it kind of fits my house. I have a small house, and so it kind of fits it. And but they are impressive. They are absolutely impressive. Because I knew the company, because I watched another YouTuber basically build one. I mean, basically he did a stream of the complete assembly of the from it being in a box, and him basically taking his motion platform down. I think he had a 3-axis, and he was going to a 6, and so he basically took it all apart, and then in boxes had the new one, and but he basically streamed it all. It was quite interesting to watch what all is involved. So tower Cessna 6 Bravo Golf inbound to land runway 24.
Cessna 256 Bravo Golf, Erie International Tom Ridge Field Tower. Runway 24 is not available. Active runways are 6 and 2. Please confirm your runway request.
Tower Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, say winds. Well, Tower Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, say winds.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, wind 360 at 8. Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, wind 360 at 8. Runway 6 cleared to land.
Cleared to land, runway 6, Cessna 6 Bravo Golf. I guess I ain't gonna land on 2-4. Well, that's okay. So runway 6 is there, but I was going straight in, so I'm gonna fly by the runway, and I'll go over there. I'll make a downwind for runway 6, because I just I'm a bit anal about doing patterns. I don't like straight in approaches. I feel you don't give yourself enough time to kind of get all the prep work done that you really should before you're going to do a landing. So I tend not to do straight in approaches, although I could have done that, but nah. So we'll just go on past here, as long as I'm past here. So once again, this is our peninsula. Basically, so inside there is like a bay, and so it protects. Lake Erie is pretty. This is Lake Erie, and it's a shallow lake. And so when we get a storm, it gets riled up pretty good. So there's like, so you have a bay here, so it's quite protected. And so you don't get big waves in the bay. You do in the lake. So I've seen them. I've easily seen 6 and 8 feet. And on rare occasions 10 feet. Those are destructive. There's no doubt about it. I wouldn't want to be in a small boat out in the lake in a 10-foot wave. That would be bad. Have to be a pretty good sized boat. So alrighty, so we'll go off this way and get lined up for a downwind. I reset my compass, my heading bug to runway 6. So did a lot of landings here, so I kind of have landed both ways, so it's no big deal. I had an air show here, and I need to get a little bit lower. So go back to about 2000. And they had a B-25, and so they were giving rides on it, and because the price was pretty steep, I think it was $450. They were having a hard time getting enough people that it was worth taking off. So partway through the day, they finally got enough people, so they texted me, and so I got to ride on it, and so we were gone about half an hour. So we come back, and as we are, whoops, there we go. As we're coming back, we're on final, and I watched the pilot. Tower, Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, downwind runway 06. Watched the pilot, we're on final. He actually did a 360 on final. Like, so.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf negative. You are not on downwind for runway 06. You are currently over Erie International Tom Ridge Field at 1800 feet, heading 256. Confirm your position and intentions.
Intentions to land, runway 06, Cessna 6 Bravo Golf.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, winds 360 at 8, runway 6, clear to land.
Cleared to land, runway 6, Cessna 6 Bravo Golf. Sometimes AI doesn't really know where you are. Alrighty, a little bit low. Pull up a little bit. Yeah, it appeared that way to me. Hi, Jeffrey. I'm sorry we didn't connect when I was at Flight Sim Expo. I seen you around, but we never crossed paths. Alrighty, so
Attention all aircraft. Erie International Tom Ridge Field. Information Sierra current. Altimeter 3015.
alrighty. Yeah, just not enough time. Tower, Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, turning final. We'll see what kind of response I get out of him. Really?
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, welcome to Erie. Contact ground on 121.9er.
Contact ground, Cessna 6 Bravo Golf. Ground Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, request taxi to general aviation parking. Thank you. The yoke helps.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, taxi to general aviation parking via Delta, cross runway 2, then Foxtrot. Have a good day.
Taxi via Delta, cross runway 2. Cessna 6 Bravo Golf. I messed that one up. Delta's over there. Should have been cross runway 2, then Delta. This is runway 2. This is Delta. Jeffrey, did you go to the X rave? I didn't go downstairs. I stayed upstairs. Heard it was too loud downstairs. Okay. Brake on. Flaps are up. Turn the avionics off. Kill. Okay. Yeah. We were upstairs. I was bullshitting with Philip. That was kind of a little bit different. So, yeah, I forgot. We stayed there till, I think we left about 10. Called it a night. So, yeah, that was definitely different. So, but, okie dokie. I think I did about what I want to do. Yeah, I think I'm going to try to stream the Megan X tomorrow. I got to figure out what's going on with why the trim is so different in the oh, okay. Interesting. So were you at the I see you were at a booth. Did you spend most of the time there? Virtual aviation at something? I don't remember the name. Or did you get to walk around the floor? Okay, yeah. Did you get to walk around the floor much, or were you kind of stuck there? Because I have to admit, I had just a great time. I mean, just so much new hardware, and always being able to interact with the laminar research team. That's kind of cool, and being able to try out my my new rudder pedals. I think that was the highlight. Oh, okay. That's good. Yeah, that's always that's always the problem. You go there, and if you're, kind of covering a booth. Okay. I should have went to that. That looked like that would have been good. That looked like that would have been good. Are they? Did that get recorded or not? I thought I heard none of that did. Yeah, that's kind of sad. That's kind of sad. But yeah, I went to the one with for WED. I went that one was on actually it was kind of the last thing on Sunday. I went to that one, so and I've used WED, so I kind of know how it was. I was just kind of curious if I could like learn anything new, you know, so that was kind of interesting, so okie dokie. I think I'm gonna call it a day, and like I said, I'm thinking I'm gonna fly tomorrow. I got some things I gotta figure out, but for everybody who stopped by, thank you so much. I just wanted to kind of give my views on VR and resolutions and headsets and that kind of fun stuff. But I need to I wanna fly with the Megan X with the 4090 before I have to send it. Oh, in case anybody didn't know, I found out that I could actually trade in my 4090 on a 5090, so through Newegg. So that's what I did. So 5090s aren't cheap, but when I found out I could get in trade-in value, I could get $1,600 for my 4090 that's over 2 years old. I went, oh, really? Okay. That probably won't continue to be true. So I bought a 5090. It was not cheap, about $3,300. But I bought basically the same model of the 4090 and a 5090. So it's an Asus. One thing that's kind of cool on this one that I'm getting is that it has independent monitoring of the power pins, because all the fears of power plugs melting and all that good stuff. This one actually independently monitors each power pin individually. So yeah, it's a lot of money, but it also has some protection in it too. So in the end, so out the door there would be $1,700 is what my cost will be after I send the rebate in. So, but so that's about it. Thanks much. Yeah, guys, have a great day, and thanks all for stopping by. Bye bye.